Thanks, Gavin and Dave. Also, I'd really like to thank Nick and Paul for the opportunity today. I'll give you a rundown on Musgrave. So, we're a gold-focused company. We're in the Q district, in the Murchison district of WA. Forward-looking statements, please come past the booth. You can grab a brochure. We can read that at your leisure. Really, the target for us is a major high-grade gold system and also near-term production. We currently have a new shareholder we've introduced to our register. I'm very happy to welcome Westgold to our register as of Monday, as I've taken a 15% stake in Musgrave at a 15% premium. So we're really happy to have them on our register. They have 3 mills within our district. We have a 20-kilometre strike of shear zone within our belt. We've been getting some really high-grade gold numbers through the break of day discovery we've recently made, including 11 at 50, 20 at 20. We've got 440,000 ounces of gold in resources on the project. As I said, Westgold have 3 mills. Ramelius also have a mill 40 kilometres to the south. And we've heard recently from Mike Dunbar at Gascoyne, who have got a gold pour. They've done their first in the last couple of days over at Dalgaranga, another 120 kilometres away. What we want to find in this district is a great fingal. We think there's opportunity to find multi-million ounce deposits in this district, and we're looking for those at the moment with a 12,000 metre drilling program currently underway under the lake systems just north of our current discoveries of Break of Day and Lena. The project is 100% owned. We have granted mining leases, and we've got multiple targets tested. We're well funded with the Westgold investment. We have 5.5 million in cash. So you have a little bit of a breakdown of the company there and where we're situated. We're right on the Great Northern Highway on the way through to the Pilbara, about 6 hours northeast of Perth. We currently have an enterprise value of roughly around $16 million, which means we've got an EV, so an enterprise value per ounce of roughly around $35 an ounce. That's very modest. Currently, industry average for an explorer is around $50 an ounce. For a producer, it's closer to $100 an ounce. We think we're getting much closer to production. You can see where the project lies there, so right on that Great Northern Highway. We've got 2 mills, as I mentioned. Westgold's Tuckabianna mill. To the north, you can see on those concentric rings, they're 20-kilometre rings out from the centre of the project there in red, which is Break of Day and Lena. So 40 kilometres away from the mills, you've both got the Tuckabianna mill to the north and the Ramelius mill to the south. Both have capacity going forward. We've got multiple million ounce deposits in the district. The Murchison has produced over 20 million ounces of gold. We've made the new high-grade discovery of Break of Day in the last 18 months. We had a resource out mid-last year, and we've got multiple targets we're testing at the moment. We'll have next batch of results through in the next few weeks, and we should be having results through every couple of weeks over the next 8 or so weeks. This is a cross-section through Break of Day. The Break of Day is a 2-vein system. Their parallel subvertical veins are roughly 10 to 60 metres apart, with high grades, as you can see, as demonstrated on that image. So Break of Day is currently 200,000 ounces, open below that 250 to 300 metre mark at depth. We've got the Lena deposit only 130 metres away, further to the east, and both these deposits start from surface. We're looking at a long section here. A long section runs for the length of the vein along the strike of the system. So we've got roughly about a 360 metre strike within that dual vein system at Break of Day. Obviously red is above 20 gram metres there, so a high grade. You can see the high grade plunges there as we head at depth, shallowly to the north and then more steeply on the southern end of the deposit. We've got a number of intersections we've had late last year that are outside the current resource boundary. There's a black dotted line on that image. That's the boundary of the current resource. The red and yellows outside that are not in the current resource, and that'll build our resource base. 130 metres away to the west, we've got the Lena deposit. This is a long section through Lena, 150,000 ounces, still open at depth. Again, we're looking at red as in 20 gram metres, so some high-grade components to this resource as well. And again, you can see the multiple high-grade plunges that we're yet to follow up. Now we've got sufficient money in the bank, we can do that follow-up work at depth. And that's really down at the moment, only down to about 180 metres or so. As we've heard from some of the explorers and developers during these sessions in the last couple of days, Mick Fowler at Genesis mentioned that, again, the average depth of underground mining in WA at the moment is about 700 metres, so there's a lot of opportunity here to grow the resource base. Excellent infrastructure within the district. I've just put 4 mills on this that we know are very close by. We've talked about Ramelius to the south, Westgold to the north. Again, another Westgold mill up near Bluebird at Meekatharra. And Doré have got the Andy Well mill continuing up the road about 130 kilometres further north on care and maintenance. At the moment, Ramelius are trucking dirt, high-grade dirt from their Vivian mine 300 kilometres further east to put in the mill at Mount Magnet. Roughly at around 10 cents per tonne kilometre. Trucking high-grade ore is very doable in the current market. So it can be moved quite a long way, especially on sealed roads that we have on the Great Northern Highway. It's great, as I mentioned, Westgold having the mill very close by at Tuckabianna, and there's definite capacity there over the short term. The company, really, we have strategic and corporate appeal. We've got multiple processing options, as I've mentioned, all the way through from toll treatment to profit share, to currently following the drilling that we're doing at the moment to try and build the resource base to get to a point where we can make a standalone type operation. What has been very good for us has been the met work we've undertaken. We're getting a 96-97% total gold recovery, so a combination gravity CIL. Within that, we're getting really strong gravity component recovery at break of day up to 80%. So what that enables us to do is have low reagent cost. It means our ore is amenable to any plant within the district, there's nothing deleterious, and we can try and keep our costs low. You can see from that image, that's just a hand gold pan we're doing on RC chips, and you can see the beautiful gold tail heading off to the north there within the pan, and the quartz in which is the white component of that image. And obviously hand panning is just a manual gravity settling process. So one of the big upsides for our project is their exploration. We've got 20 kilometres of strike of belt within this zone, 12 kilometres is under Salt Lake. We're in a very analogous position to the Great Fingal mine, which is about 15 kilometres further to the north. That mine is about 2 million ounces at 10 grams. So company making material. Those type of deposits make money the whole way through the cycle, and obviously grade is king. So at Lena and Break of Day, we've got many of the same similarities that we're seeing at Great Fingal. You can work your way technically through the list there. I'm a geologist by background, I won't bore you with the details, but we're now exploring under the lakes in areas that have got the same details but no previous exploration. As I mentioned, this is the system we're looking at, 20 kilometres of strike. To date, we've been focusing on the 8 kilometres that is south of the lake. We've made those discoveries at Lena, Break of Day, we got other mineralisation zones further to the south at Numbers and Louise, and now we're heading further to the north, as you can see in that image, under those white salt lakes. So we're growing our ground position in the district. We've got strong 12 kilometres of strike that has had no or very limited exploration under the lakes, lots of upside, good infrastructure, and it's 100% Musgrave tenure. We undertook a recent gravity survey that really highlighted that position of that structure as we head north under the lake. So the gravity image really looks at the variable density of the rocks below the surface and below the cover sequences on the lakes. So what we're seeing are slight fault offsets as we head north, but this helps us track and prioritise targets as we head north under the lake. Two of the targets we've got there are Lake Austin North, where there's a shallow historical intersection of 4 metres at 8, no follow-up drilling, nothing done through to the basement. This anomaly is about 1 kilometre long. And then we're drilling currently right at the moment at West Island, where again there's an intersection of 4 metres at 2.7 grams, modest grade, but again under the lakes, in a regolith blanket, so the gold is dispersed out, spread over a broad area, and we're looking for the primary sources below those. We've just had an intersection to the north of our deposit at break of day, where we hit 1 metre at 8. It's only at 4 metres depth, below 2 metres or so of cover. So this is a 300 metres to the north of break of day. It gives us a possibility of an extension for the known resource. Again, we're currently drilling out there at the moment. Lake Austin North, which is out on the lake. Again, we've got 2 gold zones you can see in those purple highlighted areas. They're about between roughly 100, 200 metres wide, over 1 kilometre long and strike, significant regolith gold anomalies, and we're currently drilling them at the moment to look at the basement below these regolith gold anomalies to find the high-grade source to this mineralisation. Just briefly take you through a cross-section through Lake Austin North. So you can see in red, there's the gold blanket as the gold comes up from depth, disperses when it hits the weathered regolith and the water table, and below that we're looking for high grades. From a geological perspective, the combination of that gap between the orange and the green zones are really where we're looking. That's a rock type contrast and where you get strong shear zone and quartz veining, where you see the gold. We're out here drilling at the moment, and again, West Island very similar. Strong regolith, 400 metre wide, 500 metre long anomalies under the yellow salt lake cover you can see on that image, and we're looking for that primary source below. So these are the type of targets that are regionally extensive. Goldfields have been doing this type of work near Kambalda for many years. The Invincible discovery they made under the salt lakes there, about 20 metres of cover, and it's 1.7 million ounces. So these are the areas for the future for Western Australia, for the big deposits. Just briefly touch on our work plan going forward. So soil geochemical surveys, got a structural study happening now to help identify new targets, air core and RC drilling happening, and development studies in the background. Just finally, good resource base that underpins our market capitalisation, major new shareholder on board in Westgold, giving us opportunity going forward and support, strong shear system where we know we've got plus 20 kilometres of strike, lots of opportunity to find new deposits and build that resource base. We're currently drilling. We'll drill through for the next couple of weeks, get results through over the next 8-week period, and multiple processing options in the district. Board and management, strong board and management. We've been in the industry for a long period of time. My background was with Western Mining. I spent 17 years with them, through to BHP, and then been in the junior sector for the last 7 or 8 years. Thank you very much. I do have a booth. Welcome to talk for a beer afterwards, and happy to take any questions outside. Thank you very much.